Continue there, Geoff.
Okay, I'm sitting in an office in Cambridge. It's just after lunchtime, 2:15 in the afternoon. It's the software development part of our company. So there's about 15 people here, something like that at the moment. Mostly technical developers. Although in the building across the way, there's another 25-30 people who help us make all of our content, the production and the media people. And it's, I guess, a kind of cold but clear day, a bit like a South African winter, but it's called spring here.
Okay. What did you have for breakfast or for lunch?
Sandwich. So then here's the next slide is a different example of work in schools. Again, like I said, most of our work hasn't been schools. We create the tools and whoever buys them uses them. But in this case, they were using the devices more they weren't putting learning onto the device like you saw in the primary one. They were using the device as a tool for doing projects or doing activities. So in these pictures, it was to do with PE. It was their sports class. And they were taking pictures of each other doing different sport activities and then taking little video clips and then looking at the film clip and looking at how they did their jump or their shoot or their run and comparing how they could improve their performance. So they were and sharing it. They would look at it and they would upload it to a website where they would all be able to share it. So they would watch their film what was going on. And the video camera was always hogged by the boys. It's the same as your scenario with the boys downstairs and the girls upstairs. The video camera was always being taken by the boys, and they were dominating it. And they would spend a long time looking. Yeah.
Geoff, yes, can I ask you something? Is this is a project actually? Ne?
Yeah.
They were working on a project, and then how is the evaluation? How do you
evaluate? By a subject teacher, and they would decide what they wanted to do within that activity. So this particular activity on the photographs was around PE and an angle, because each teacher was owning their own little piece of puzzle. So there was a broader report on the whole project over the 18 months, which was very positive, and that was about increasing engagement.
But tell me, was it planned to incorporate all the learning areas, or it was only specifically for PE and sports, though it involves other learning areas?
In this particular project that we were doing, it covered more areas than that, but it was depending on which teachers felt enthusiastic about taking part. Everybody would have to sign the rules. But what this school did, and it's now an example followed by a lot of other projects, was to spend the first week with the students inventing their own rules. So the students got together and they discussed what was appropriate, what was not appropriate. What happens if you leave your device in the bus? Whose fault is that? And so they worked what they put together. But the particularly strong thing was that they'd really made it themselves. These pictures on here are pictures that they took with their phones of the brainstorming and of the planning on the rules.
How long was the research took?
The making up of the rules was an activity that they did over a couple of days. They then used the devices for it varies between 3 months and 18 months they used the devices for. But the making up of the rules was...
These rules also work for them because they are the one who produced them. So it's easier, they were not imposed to them. They are the one who created their own rules. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's an important... If you're providing some expensive equipment for the students, it is important that they take responsibility. So again, we were using camera phones. So while they were in the hospital, they're taking pictures of what they're doing, and then they're sending those pictures up to a special secret website where they can write about what they're doing. They can look at the x-rays and take photographs and write notes to the lecturer, and the lecturer can see it, and the lecturer can add comments and feedback to them, so they can have a dialogue online. And this is we use for this one of the tools that we have called the media board, which is especially about sharing evidence.
So is it that it's in the form of assessment also?
Yeah, it can be very powerful for assessment.
Okay.
These guys had two different or healthy eating, and so these are small little e-learning courses. We did quite a lot. That was partly why we were invited to a conference in Washington where I met Theo a couple of weeks ago. And so this was a list of things that we've put together when we've worked with teachers here in the UK when trying to think about how do I fit these technology things into what I'm doing. You're going to have to help me understand how well it applies to